February 25th, 2018. This video is called Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games Might Be Last Chance to Get World Involved in Fukushima. Now, I just got done watching the closing ceremonies for the Olympic Games in South Korea, and it just dawned on me that it proves that all the world's a stage and the script is already written. Now, people keep saying, the commentators, that they keep reiterating that the Olympics unite people. Well, I say it's a facade. If the world came together, let's get together and fix Fukushima before it's too late, which I think it probably is going on 7 years. A sense of unity is all they keep saying. Now, Tokyo was a candidate for the 2020 Olympic Games, and they received it. But you got to check out, there was one smart person on the committee that asked this question to Shinzo Abe, and he lies right through his teeth. And in the years to come, we will prove that he is a murderer.
Mr. President, distinguished members of the IOC, it would be a tremendous honor for us to host the Games in 2020 in Tokyo, one of the safest cities in the world, now and in 2020. Some may have concerns about Fukushima. Let me assure you, the situation is under control. It has never done and will never do any damage to Tokyo. I can also say, from a new stadium that will look like no other to confirmed financing, Tokyo 2020 will offer guaranteed delivery. Now, I'm here today with a message that is even more important. We in Japan are true believers in the Olympic movement. The Olympic spirit also taught us that legacy is not just about buildings, not even about national projects. It is about global vision and investment in people. I say that choosing Tokyo 2020 means choosing a new, powerful booster for the Olympic movement. Choose Tokyo today, and you choose a nation that is a passionate, proud, and a strong believer in the Olympic movement, and which strongly desires to work together with the IOC in order to make the world a better place through the power of sport. We are ready to work with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tokyo, for an excellent presentation, and I will now open the floor for any questions from IOC members, international federations, and national Olympic committees. The Tokyo delegation will then answer all questions together. Are there questions from IOC members? Mr. Gerhard Heiberg.
Is it working? Oh, yes, it is. Again, thank you also very much for an excellent presentation and an emotional one. Mr. Prime Minister, excuse me for taking it up, but the question about Fukushima. We read, we hear a lot, and almost every day from media, how bad this is. Of course, we believe you when you say that it will have no effect on Tokyo. Could you tell us how you can say that, and also why it is like that, so we get the assurance, also technically from your side, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heiberg. Tokyo, the floor is yours to answer the question raised.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we answer your question, please allow me to introduce the other members in our team. IOC Honorary Member Chiharu Igaya, BIT Sports Director Yuko Arakida, and Director of International Relations Yukiko Arai. And Yukiko will help manage our response to your questions. Yukiko, please.
Thank you very much, President Takeda. I've noted 3 questions, and I've been informed that we must take them in order. Our second question is from Mr. Heiberg concerning the situation in Fukushima. I would like to invite our Prime Minister to respond. Prime Minister, please.
Thank you for your question. Let me speak in Japanese. まず結論から申し上げれば、全く問題ないということであります。どうか新聞のヘッドラインではなくて事実を見ていただきたいと思います。汚染水による影響は
Excuse me.
ちょっと通訳今
Could you
OK。
I will give you my conclusion first. It poses no problems whatsoever. I ask that you read through the headlines and instead appraise the true situation. The impacts of the contaminated water have been isolated to an area of 0.3 square kilometers within the harbor that fronts the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station. It is completely blocked. We have been conducting monitoring in Fukushima's coastal waters, and even the highest of these numerical values is at a level of 1/500th of the WHO's guidelines for drinking water quality. It is a fact. Japan's safety standards for both food and water uphold the most stringent level anywhere in the world. And in every single region of the country, radiation exposure from food and water is less than 1/100th of these extremely rigorous standards. That is the fact of the matter. There have been no health-related problems until now, nor are there any at present, nor will there be in the future. I make this statement to you in the most emphatic and unequivocal terms. Furthermore, I shall take responsibility to implement programs for the drastic resolution in order to render this situation completely problem-free. I will say most emphatically and unequivocally. I would also like to take this opportunity to express the fact that I met with one boy when I visited the affected area. And I met a boy showing a big smile who showed me with pride and delight his cherished treasure, a soccer ball he had received from a soccer player who had come to visit from overseas. For him, that ball was much more than merely a cherished possession. For him, that ball represented hope towards the future. That's what I thought. In this moment, under the blue sky in Fukushima, children are playing with soccer ball and they are looking into their reconstruction and the future. As the Prime Minister, for their safety and for their future, I am responsible. And I am responsible for the athletes visiting Japan. And I shall tell you, absolutely, I will discharge that responsibility of mine. That is my commitment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister.
Tokyo Co-Commission features Fukushima Food Fest in 2017 when they were going around figuring out that this is the place that they want to be. Now, it states that 2020, the Coordination Commission leaders will experience the recovery efforts of Fukushima Prefecture when they sit down for dinner. Delicacies from Fukushima, Iwate, and Miyagi prefectures will be showcased at the official delegate dinner on day 2 of the IOC inspection visit next week in Tokyo. These prefectures were devastated by an earthquake, tsunami, and resulting nuclear power plant disaster in 2011. The Reconstruction Agency in Tokyo 2020 decided to highlight local specialties from the 3 prefectures, all of which were affected by the 2011 Great Eastern Japan earthquake. The Tokyo 2020 spokesperson tells Around the Rings, "Through this arrangement, we hope that as well as allowing members of the IOC team to enjoy local produce, we can support the region's recovery efforts and thereby help raise the spirits of the people in the affected areas." The catastrophic trio led to the banning of all food products from the region by 54 countries due to the possibility of radioactive contaminants. 6 years later, the ban only remains in 29 smart countries, according to the AFP. The idea to serve products from the region to IOC members is the latest in a string of initiatives by Olympic organizers to showcase and support its recovery efforts. Along with introducing local cuisine, Tokyo 2020 is utilizing Fukushima as a venue for parts of the baseball and softball Olympic tournaments, with organizers considering hosting the opening game in the region. Now, this is absolutely nuts. Fukushima Azuma Baseball Stadium is a multi-purpose stadium in Fukushima, Japan. It is currently used for baseball matches. The stadium was originally opened in 1986 and has the capacity of 30,000 spectators. It will be the baseball and softball venue at the 2020 Summer Olympics. Now, on the Google map, here is the sports center. Here's the baseball diamond. Now, this is nuts over here. Check this out. Now, I don't know what the date of this is, but look at, they got a whole pyramid mountain of radioactive waste right next to the damn sports center. Here's the Fukushima plant, where they don't even have workers that are actually working on the reactors here because it's so damn radioactive. This is Unit 1 right over in here. Now there's Fukushima. And here is where the baseball diamond is. From here to here. Now what happens when they're playing baseball and there's a wind blowing right straight directly to the baseball diamonds? This is just freaking out of hand over here. Now, if you look at the Strava heat map, this was taken, this picture was obviously before they put the radioactive waste pile over there. Now, obviously, they dug that stuff up from around the city because they're not going to be transplanting it or transporting it from somewhere else. So those bags, those a couple hundred piles of the 30 million one-ton bags that they dug up around the city or the country, they just placed it over here. And this obviously was placed before they took that other, the Google map picture. Now, if you look at the Strava heat map of all the activities, this is the automobile or the rides activity, which obviously is going to be around it. But if you go on the walking one, no one seems to be walking on the baseball diamond or this diamond over here or whatever this is. Like this is actually right here, tennis courts, according to those are tennis courts right there. This looks like a running stadium. And here is the huge piles of radioactive waste. Is this nuts or what? Let's see if we can get a street view over here. No, you can't. They're smart. They don't want you to see what's actually on the ground level over there. Now, the only people that are really sticking up against these Japanese murderers is the country of South Korea. Because it says here that Japanese wins World Trade Center dispute over Fukushima-related food. The WTO largely upheld a Japanese complaint against South Korean import bans and additional testing requirements imposed on Japanese seafood because of the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster. The WTO dispute panel said that South Korea's measures were initially justified, but that keeping them in place violated the WTO's sanitary and phytosanitary agreement. Japan welcomes the panel's decision and hopes that South Korea will sincerely and swiftly take corrective action. I mean, then the South Korea government said on Friday it will appeal the ruling and will keep the ban in place. They're basically saying, "Fuck you, Japan. The jig is up. We know what's going on. Your days are done of your deception." This is February 22nd. Okay, so what I'm getting at with this video is we have got to start sharing these videos. I wrote a tweet to Shaun White, the USA gold medal Olympian, that stated that at the Winter Olympics, he's seriously thinking about going to the Summer Olympics and do skateboarding since they added skateboarding to the event. I posted a tweet to Shaun White with no response about the I actually posted that video, Fukushima has turned Japan into a shithole, and it outlines the scary realities of what's going on in there, and I figured, hey, maybe it could sink some sense into this dude, and maybe he's been over in South Korea and hasn't come back yet and seen the tweet yet, but what we have to do is we have to start posting like crazy to Shaun White, this video, other videos, Dana Durnford videos about what's going on. And if we start this posting of through social media that this world has become obsessed about, it's about time we start doing what our agenda is to show the world and shine a light on what the hell's going on with this ELE, extinction level event emergency. And if we post these to the athletes that will be going to Tokyo, whether it's the baseball team, the softball team, the basketball team, whoever it may be, we have to start spreading these videos and awareness like crazy. And this might be our last chance to be on the world stage to get them to realize what the hell's going on over there and have some sense of urgency. Now, I took a couple pictures of the closing ceremony today, and they talk about unity through sports, and it just amazes me that how the world can come together through some mindless sports activity that it really doesn't mean anything in the big picture, whether it's throwing a ball or skating around or twirling around in circles. That doesn't mean shit compared to what's going on in Fukushima, the disease and cancer that it's causing. So we have got to get on the ball and get this information, and maybe, just maybe, nothing's going to change, I doubt, with people like us who are not popular or famous. But if we can get these famous people to be spouting about other than the bullshit that they usually spout about, and let them spout about what's happening with this nuclear energy disaster, maybe we can get something done. Because going on 7 years, if we don't do anything, it's just going to be all talk. It's going to be 10 years and 20 years and 50 years. And if we're around 50 years from now, we're going to look back at this moment and say, hey, what the fuck did we do? And at least we're trying to do something. I'm trying to do something. So spread these videos around, post them on as many famous people as you can. I don't care who they are, and maybe we could get some awareness to this disaster that just is mutating into our bones and into our beings and into this earth and destroying this planet that we were gifted to.